Look, I know it's a big change, but we'll get used to each other. Haven't you always wanted a father?
As the World Turns, a show about loss, resurrection, controversy.
Maybe you haven't heard, Mom. Thanks to justice, the system has decided that a rapist is fit to father a beautiful young girl.
And tough love.
Stop hiding behind lies and empty promises. Find out if you've got the courage to be honest with yourself.
As the World Turns was the #1 soap for I want to say close to 20 years, if not a little bit over, until the folks at Y&R, The Young and the Restless, when they came in, they did a little voodoo, and things were never the same since, right? I'm kidding. But we all know with soaps, it's a large part of it is about the storylines. However, you can't forget about the characters that make the storylines. Guys, this is my top 5 As the World Turns characters. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Soap Sanctuary. Cue intro. Hey guys, it's DC and welcome to the Soap Sanctuary where all soap lovers are welcome. This is my top 5 As the World Turns characters. I haven't done a top 5 video in so long and this might be one of my shortest top 5 videos. I always said the video was going to be short and then it turns out to be like 20, 30, 50 minutes, so let's see how this turns out. Let's see how this turns out, guys. You know, I don't know if you guys remember when As the World Turns had like the blue and white intro from 2004, it's like '08, and then it had the da-da-da-da-da-da-da, boom, 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 boom. Was that the only one? Because I was 12 at the time. Was that the only one that went boom, 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 boom when they did that? What? Was that the only one? Just me? Okay. If you weren't doing that, you know you lying. You know you was doing that too. You know you was doing it too, guys. Anyways, guys, this is my top 5 As the World Turns characters. You know, I gotta admit though, it was hard for me to get into As the World Turns at the time I was watching it. It was really tough. I still stuck through watching it, but it was kind of tough. And now as I've gone back through the years and watching, like, wow, this is some really good stuff, some really good material. It was interesting. And this show was like #1 for 20 years, like I said, but the folks at Y&R did a little voodoo. Like, nah, we can't have that. I'm kidding, guys. I'm completely kidding. I don't think anyone's really done a lot of As the World Turns videos. You don't really see that. There's some channels that are exclusively for As the World Turns, but in terms of soap commentators, content creators, I don't see a lot of them. Not saying they don't exist, I just haven't really seen them. A lot of those kind of videos. But let's get right into this video, guys. It's gonna be super short, guys. I'm not gonna go into a full-blown analysis, but just a little bit of some stuff here, guys. So coming in at top 5, my top 5 As the World Turns character was Dusty. Good old Dusty Donovan. There was 2 different actors who played Dusty Donovan. There was Brian Bloom, and then there was Grayson McCooch. And with those 2 actors, they both brought something completely different to the role, but there were some key elements that we saw with Dusty. Now, Dusty, his heart was always with Lily. I felt like he settled for Rose. I know they fell in love. I know you guys don't know the detail, but he always wanted Lily. But he didn't want to be Lily's scraps at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Dusty, he knew he wanted more. But the thing about Dusty is he was always trying to save someone. He was always trying to save someone. That's how it was back in the day. That's how some men felt important. I got to be able to save you. I need a project. You know, now we know about unconscious elements and stuff. We know a little bit better, right? But that was Dusty's thing. Dusty, to me, kind of reminded me of like Jason Morgan, you know, just without the hitman, the shooting people for a living thing. But he had like this mystique to him, kind of almost, at least when Grayson McCooch played him. And he was always trying to save somebody in As the World Turns. But I liked him as a character because I felt like Dusty, he really had a heart of gold. He was really a good guy. But you felt it when Dusty was in the scene. But anyways, coming in at number 5 is Dusty Donovan on As the World Turns. Take a look.
Do you mind if I stay here tonight? Because I have no one to go home to.
You're never alone. You have me.
Now, my number 4 for As the World Turns is none other than Kim Hughes. When I first started watching As the World Turns, Kim didn't actually have a lot of storylines. This was around 06. But when she walked into a room, I just noticed her. And I was like, she's got to be someone important. Not because she's an older character, but just the way she walks into that room. I felt something was there. And then after the years, when I got the chance to watch past episodes, I was like, this makes sense. She really has a huge legacy in the show. And honestly, I thought her and Bob were just always soulmates, but I didn't know all the backstory till later down the line. I want to say after 08, 09, when I started watching past episodes of the show, I was like, oh, now I get it. Because obviously, Bob was married to her sister Jennifer. They had an affair. And viewers were actually so outraged by that affair that when Kim first got pregnant, the viewers pretty much told the network that baby has to die or we're not watching the show anymore. But As the World Turns was a very conservative show, Papa. It was a very conservative show. They demanded that Kim's... I don't want to say the fans demanded it, but the network knew they had to do it or they're going to lose viewers. It was a very conservative show. So they killed off Kim's baby. Obviously, they brought her back years later, not line to Sabrina. But that affair with Bob haunted Kim for so many years. She struggled with that. She really honestly struggled with that. But Kim had such a heart. Barbara had Kim's heart. That was a thing of Barbara that saved her. You know, and it was the same thing with Andy, her son. Her son Andy was a huge screw up. But that was the thing with Andy. Andy was scheming, manipulative. He was all those things. But it was the fact that Kim was his mom that was like, not even just a saving grace of the citizens of Oakdale, but just with like everyone in general. But coming in at number 4 of my top 5 As the World Turns character is Kim Hughes. Take a look.
Honey, try to remember. Remember the night of the blizzard, the night that he rescued you, and the whole truth about Florida came out, didn't it?
I found out the hotel where you were staying. And I arranged for us to meet. So much for the innocence of our meeting.
I thought that Jennifer and I were at a point of no return.
I know, I did too. Oh, dear God, I was so glad. Why did she come back to you?
Unless she was pregnant with Franny. Maybe that's why she came back. And then I found out you were pregnant. Why didn't you tell me that the child was mine?
How could I do that to you? How could I do that to my sister? Oh, God. I had done so much already.
Coming in at number 3 for me is none other than Craig Montgomery. When I first started watching As the World Turns, there was a recast Craig come in, and I remember he was sitting on the wheelchair. If I finally see him, I'm going to put it in here. And I was like, who is that guy? I didn't feel the oomph. And you know it when there's a recast, because it's like, we are really waiting on the character's response to that person. You know, if you weren't reading Soap Opera Digest or anything like that, you didn't know who that was. And the writers knew that, so they knew it was dependent on the character's reaction. Because there wasn't Scott Bryce in that role at that time. It felt off. When Scott Bryce came back, I was like, ooh, this feels right. It's weird. I've seen the different Craigs, and I only acknowledge Scott Bryce in the role. I only acknowledge Scott Bryce. It's just, it was the only Craig that made sense to me. He had a Craig that was, to me, that was the Craig that was Margot's brother, Katie's brother, right? It's Scott Bryce's Craig. or who had the whole feud with Lucinda. That's the Craig. This other Craig, I don't. The other Craigs, I don't recognize them. I don't acknowledge them. I don't acknowledge them. You know, before there was Chad and Liza, there was Craig and Lucinda. But anyways, guys, here is my number 3 top 5 as well as turns characters is Craig Montgomery, played by Scott Bryce. Take a look.
I'll be here. Love you. Bye. Paul?
I just love what you have done with the place.
You have been evicted, so don't think that you can just walk in here.
Like I own the place? Well, that's how it is with me, Rosanna. Wives, kids, businesses, homes. Other people may take possession of them, but somehow, some way, they remain as they were meant to be. Mine.
I actually feel like this person has a heart of gold. I feel like he was a good man. Yes, my number 2 is James Stenbeck. Listen, I know all the things James Stenbeck did, but when I watched the classic Oswald Turns, I was like, damn, he had a good heart. He was a good man, you know. That Stenbeck fortune corrupted that man, but he was a good man. I don't know the whole entire spaces of James's all the way history, because obviously I've only seen you only watch so much about his episodes, you don't watch so much, but I will say this, his history with Barbara really loved him. And his relationship with Barbara reminded me a lot of Maxie and Peter's relationship, right? Because Maxie really loved Peter on GH, right? Peter was her James Stenbeck. And he still will be, because we know he's coming back. We know when you got a villain for a baby daddy, they're coming back. They're coming back, all right? So Maxie will have her moment when, you know, Peter comes in with the robe like, hello, Maxie. Oh gosh, oh my gosh. But to me, I really liked James' character prior. I really did. And that's what I like about classic soap. They really humanized characters. So like now seeing their, you know, obviously through the later years, to the 2000s, characters were just either hot or cold. And Erna Phillips said she did that on purpose during like the later years of Oswald Turns, meaning like not from the 50s, but from like the 60s onwards, where she wanted to give the characters different layers, where they just weren't good or bad. They had multiple layers to them, which we still obviously have in soaps, but some characters are usually just this or that. But they gave James layers at that time. Coming in number 2, guys, is James Stenbeck.
Better yet, maybe I'll take that beautiful little Danny with me as insurance. Huh?
James, I'm begging you. I promise you I will go with you, all right? Just leave them alone.
You help me get my son. Because if you don't, I'll make sure that your sister never sees that beautiful child again. Come on, Emily, come on. Help me, it's your last chance. What are you gonna do with that? What is that? Pop gun?
James, don't force me to use this, please.
Oh, you're not gonna use that. You couldn't use it. You know why? Because you love me, Emily. You love me.
James, don't force me.
Guys, and now finally for my number 1, may she rest in peace, Elizabeth Hubbard, who played Lucinda Walsh. Lucinda was definitely a great character in Oswald Turns. Lucinda was... she was who Erica Kane thought she was. Okay, Erica Kane thought that she was a Lucinda Walsh, but she was not, Papa. She was not Papa. She was not a Lucinda Walsh. If I had to compare Lucinda Walsh to another soap character, I would say I want to give it like a combo of like, what's a good, Alexandra Spaulding and Dorian Lord. If they got together where they were able to magically produce a baby that was in the middle of Illinois, it would be Lucinda Walsh. It would be the Lucinda Walsh, okay? That is my #1 top Aswell Turns character. You know, Lucinda to me was a character that she was a strong character. They wrote her very strong. She had her vulnerability, but they wrote Lucinda strong. But they wrote her in a way where I felt like as viewers, we saw Lucinda strong for so long that when we saw her vulnerability, it didn't take away from her strength. You know, it didn't take away from her strength. So I appreciate that. But anyways, coming in at #1 is Lucinda Walsh. Coming on #1 in my top 5 Aswell Turns characters is Lucinda Walsh. Take a look.
Yes, she is a wonderful woman, and she should have a wonderful man, and he should be age appropriate and job appropriate. I kind of see him with a beard.
I think Sam should choose.
What do you mean, dear?
You know what I mean, dear.
You mean that I should give her everything, but stay out of her life? Just as I should give you and Sierra everything, but stay out of your lives? I think differently. I think if you care for someone, and if you love someone, and if you're family and you're linked together, you fight for them. I believe that. You fight for them no matter what.
All right, guys, that is my top 5 Aswell Turns characters. I want to give an honorary mention to Jessica. She kind of make the list for me, but I wasn't too familiar with her character. I haven't watched a lot of those years, so obviously there's some years I'm missing. I know you guys are coming in the comments. Sorry, so I got you. But tell me, guys, what are some of your top 5 Aswell Turns characters? If you had your dream list, what would that look like for you? And also, if you guys are enjoying the content, if you're enjoying the stuff I put on, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I will post at the end of this video a link to my other top 5 playlists. You guys want to go ahead and check that out. I appreciate all your guys' support. Anyways, guys, this has been the Soap Sanctuary. I'm out. This has been Soap Sanctuary.